Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Strike Back here at Community Missionary Baptist Church of DeSoto and Cedar Hill, under the leadership of none other than the Reverend Dr. Oscar D.F. Sr. Today I am your host, James H. Alexander Jr. from Waco, Texas. 254 is in the building. I am the proud pastor of the Greater Ideal Baptist Church of Oak Cliff, Texas, and we have an awesome show to show to you guys. But before I let anything happen, let me turn it over to this awesome panel. I'm going to start on my far end. Dr. Ramey, let them know who you are and what you're about, bro.
I am Dr. Ramey, Christian Education here at Community Church, and I'm just excited about this conversation tonight. I just told Swan, talk the truth.
Hey, that's all we can do. That's all we can do. Let them know who you are, man.
Hey, what's going on? Reverend Jamel Swan, Associate Minister here on the roster. I'm just another guy in the fellowship with the brethren.
For sure.
Oh,
for
man,
sure.
that's awesome, man. I am Damon Greer, and I'm just a servant here, and I'm just ready to get started with these brothers, man. I pray that this panel goes extremely well. I'm looking forward to an amazing time.
That's what's up. And tell them who you are, my brother.
Good evening. I'm Detrick Terrell, member here. Been here for about a year from San Antonio, Texas.
SA is in the
Happy
building.
to be here.
All right. Well, so guys, we're gonna do some talking about brotherhood, relationships, and responsibility. I mean, that's a real fancy way to talk about some stuff that we need to just go on and set the record straight on. And I'm gonna kick this thing off with just from just whatever word comes to your mind. I need one word to describe dating today, bearing in mind dating never stops and should continue throughout the life of every relationship. So what one word, Detrick, since you went last, I'm gonna have you go first. Detrick, when you
Sure
think
you
of
want me
dating,
to go first?
I need that.
Because I'm going to keep it real up
Keep
in
it
here.
real.
I'm
When
going to say
it
one
comes
word,
Yeah.
cesspool. That's probably
Oh
2 words.
dear, cesspool.
We'll say cesspool.
Woo,
Yes, definitely.
okay, you know, I'm gonna come back. I want you to explain that, bro.
I
That-
can't wait.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know, in all fairness, is it okay if I ask everybody's status? Is that too
Yeah,
personal?
no, you go
okay.
ahead, man.
What's your status right now?
I'm divorced.
Divorce. Okay. Go ahead, Greer.
All right, I'm married.
Dating. One word.
Dating, one word.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to use something, man, that's pretty simple, man. I'm going to say expensive. I'm using something pretty simple.
Fair enough. All right, Swan, talk to me.
What's going on? I'm married, and from the outside looking in,
Uh-huh.
it just seemed like toxic, man.
Woo.
And
Woo.
let me clarify that.
Go on
'cause
and
I already
clarify.
feel hate
Clarify.
from the media land. I'm not saying that with the good women, because y'all exist, but what we see is not y'all. So I'm just basing off what's
What's being put out
what's
there?
being put out
Okay.
there, and I'm just gonna say toxic.
Okay, that was a good cleanup.
Yeah,
you know we're going to come back to that, too. We probably got the comments going crazy now.
I'm being good.
Ramey, one word, dating.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's being
There's
good,
only
too.
one person that has something,
He's being good, too.
yeah, to highlight something positive.
He's being good.
So, guys, if you're joining us, we have a panel of exquisite men, and where the theme is men on purpose. We're talking about brotherhood, relationships, and responsibility. And we talked about this dating things, and I want to touch on dating realities. You, my brother, I'm gonna let you expound on that word you gave, but in that same breath, I want you to answer what are young adult men really looking for in women today? What are we really looking for?
From my opinion, really, we're looking for peace, support, and alignment. Peace being the main word.
Yeah.
I know with black men we deal with a lot when we leave the house, and so when we come home, we want a level of peace. We want to come home.
That part.
I know we saw a gentleman out in his car a couple of weeks ago. It went viral. And his wife went out there asking him, what is he doing? And he said, I'm just getting some rest. And I understood what that brother meant. It wasn't about the sleep. He was preparing himself to go into...
To go home.
To go home.
That's good.
And you shouldn't have
real.
to do that.
That's real.
I have most certainly been there in my life. And, peace is important to us. Support what we're doing. Support where we want to take this family and our vision and where we want to go.
Okay.
That's important from our woman. You know, a lot of times we have the vision, but it's the wives that have that see the pitfalls down the road that we don't. That's the value that they bring to us.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, and then alignment. Are we aligned first?
That part.
You know, are we equally yoked? You know, you don't have to be, you know, you know, church doting missionary on the front pew.
Right.
You know, but have some decorum.
Yeah. I got
know?
you. That makes
It's
sense.
important.
That makes sense. Raimi, hit us with that. You said that the dating is beautiful. So
Yeah.
what in your beautifulness of dating, what is it that if you were to speak for brothers, what are we looking for
So
in women?
that let me back up a bit, because I can say beautiful now, but at one time I know what Dietrich is talking about. I would pull up, drive around the block, and then I'll call you.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Trust me, I remember.
Oh Lord.
You know, because it was toxic, it was crazy, it was all of that. But sometimes at different stages in your life, things shift, and this has been a shift for me. So now it's beautiful. I think for us men, we are looking for peace, for that woman who understands who we are, or if not, who is willing to go through the process to learn us as we learn them. And I think sometimes there's a break somewhere in there where it's one-sided.
Yeah.
And that creates so much stress.
Would you say in that, and brothers, I'm just assuming we're all around the same age. Would you think that it's a difference in approach at this season in our life versus 20 years ago?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
for me, my tolerance level is
It shrinks. It does. It shrinks. It shrinks.
That's
When,
good.
man, we're in that 45 to 50 age, man, we like later for all that foolishness. So let me come to my brothers that are married, and I think you'll be able to speak on this. What makes a woman wife material versus just dating material?
Wow, that's good.
What? Now you can start by describing your wife so you can be in good graces.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
But overall, let's talk about that. And I think that's a good question for all of us. But I want my fellas, Swan and Greer, to do that. Now, speak wisely. Wisely.
Y'all may have to drive around the block. After
yeah.
I guess, my experience, and I'm sure it's, pretty common for a man who has his head on the shoulders or whatnot. I mean, first off, brains. You got to have some brains. I mean,
You know, it's a different word that means something else nowadays.
Ah.
I'm just saying. I'm,
Tell the truth,
he,
shame the
he's just
devil.
he's saying thought like intelligence
yeah.
for all of y'all that went there. Go ahead.
This is so good. This is so good.
No, but you good. I'm clearing it up so the comments won't go crazy.
Yeah, you got to have some head. You got to have some head knowledge. You got to have
That
some
was close.
intelligence.
It made me nervous.
Hey man,
Oh, you good. You good.
yeah, you got to have something going on up top because I mean, if all you bring is body to the table,
That's true.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, because it's a partnership,
Right on.
And I feel like if you're gonna be dating, what are you dating for one? If you dating to have fun, then hey, I guess, body is all right, minimal intelligence.
Yeah.
But if you're really trying to be serious, I would say intelligence, and you got to be independent. For me, I mean, that's one thing that attracted me to my wife.
Yeah.
She had goals, she had ambitions. She was independent. She was taking care of her own before I came in to her life or whatever. And to me, that attracted me to her because she was already established without me.
Okay.
And my thing is, as a man, I don't want to be with no woman that's still living at the. Look, I get that. Life
Speak
is
your
life
piece.
and
Speak your piece,
I
bro.
ain't trying to attack or offend
Speak
nobody,
your
but I'm
piece.
just speaking for me. I
Yeah.
don't want to be living with no woman. I want to be with a woman that's living like, she living with her parents just because that's just what she do. Like, you got to be independent. And when
Okay.
I say independent, I don't mean that independent where, I don't need no such and such trying to tell me what to do. But I mean independent as you holding yours down minus a man. You don't need me as a come up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Makes sense.
And so, to me, that's just what I feel, makes a woman wifey material over dating material. Y'all gonna get me.
Hey, yeah, man, you good. You good.
Is she watching?
I don't know if she is, but I mean, it's the truth, though.
Hey, Greer, jump in there, man.
Hey, man.
Wife material versus
Yeah.
dating material. What's
Listen, man, I
spits for
really
real.
don't have a whole lot to say, but I think they kind of go hand in hand, to be honest with you. And
Break
this
it
is just
down.
is my perspective on it, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in the whole wife piece that we forget about the dating part of it. And I think that's why a lot of our marriages, hit these pitfalls because we stopped doing, what we did in the beginning. So I think it all goes hand in hand, because because here's the thing, before I thought about even being married, all I wanted was a girlfriend. That was it. I just wanted somebody to date, somebody to, just love on and just care about. And then eventually I got to that place where I said, you know what, here comes the business decision now.
There you go.
This is a business decision now we
There
have
you
to
go.
make. Not stating that, we're going to put a contract together, but I mean, in reality, it becomes a contract later, that never expires, But sometimes you, no, let me not do that.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Sometimes, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. This is probably the only license that does not expire. And I think sometimes we may need to go back and revisit, those vows.
They
at
should
certain times.
expire. Yes.
Yeah, because there are certain times when you may want to rethink about it. Everything else expires. Your driver license expires. Your suspicion, your passport. Give you 10 years.
Contracts,
You get a lot of things that we have, that our registration expires every year, and the warranties expire, and there may be your relationship may be at a place of expiration, and you may need to think about it.
Hey,
Do you want to re-up on this thing?
That's real talk, because I said earlier, if you've been with someone, especially if you are in the midst of evolving yourself, you could be with somebody and you find yourself growing in different directions.
yeah.
That's
You might need to revisit that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need to revisit
to be
that.
honest with you, once you're married, I think it should be revisited daily. To be honest with you, because you need to make sure you're on the same page.
And I think that's where the dating piece comes in.
And so that's what we're going to pivot right back to that. But I wasn't
good.
quite done with the dating part. When it comes to dating realities, Detrick, I'm going to come back to you. What's one unrealistic expectation that you see happening in dating? An unrealistic expectation.
Well, I will say that finances are definitely involved. There's a lot of women that expect for a man to come in and provide for them financially off the top. And there's a lot of men on the other side of that come in and expect physical contact off top. And at that point, it becomes transactional. And so do you really have a relationship if you're starting off transactionally, With that, I'll say this, with the dating realities that we have, I think it's important from a man's perspective to find a woman that has a good mindset, right? A lot of women don't like when men bring up their past, but to us, it is very important. Even in sports, they tell us, what is the best predictor of future behavior? It's past behavior. What type of decisions did you make in your life to this point to get you to this point? I can name a lot of things. I won't specify because there are a lot of good women out there that have made bad mistakes, that have turned the corner, and a lot of men as well. But by and large, I think it's important for us to vet those dating candidates and vet their mindset first.
Hey, how about believe what you see?
Come on.
Oh boy.
Because I believe a lot of times we have red flags right in our face, and
Right.
oh, she was just mad, dog. That's just how she is. And next thing you know, all your tires got
Right.
knives sticking out of them.
Right.
So I mean,
Or she's standing outside your mama house.
that part. and y'all listen. Again, we're fellas just talking about some expectation when it comes to dating.
No.
I want to pivot and y'all listen. This is really getting good. When it comes to dating, I'm just gonna shoot it right down. Well, you know what? I'm gonna focus on. But tell you what, I'm gonna include you guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna include you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Bring me in on the rear.
We got-
I'm gonna give it to the
in.
rear.
Okay. All right, Raimi. First date, simple or expensive?
Simple.
Okay. Why?
Because I think you don't know the person. You don't know who you're interacting with. And I think that first dates are a time to really kind of feel
Yeah.
something's true.
Yeah.
To discern.
Yeah.
And so I think the more simple you keep it, you get to see how real that person is.
Okay. Great. First date, simple or expensive?
I'll say simple, but however, if it becomes expensive, it's okay.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I'm not looking for an expensive date. However, if we go on a simple date, that may become expensive.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is if we get to talking a little bit longer,
Yeah. Maybe, hey, we need.
we
another
need
one
it.
of
Yeah,
those.
you see what I'm saying?
I'm with you, dog.
I'm just speaking real.
man,
dog.
you-
It
and
can
this
be,
is
it
the
can
place
get
to
there.
do
It can get there. So,
All right.
and if
All
it
right.
does, it does. It doesn't warrant me to say that. Oh, I get. I deserve something. It's a conversation.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Okay, Swan, what about you? First date.
Man, I'm gonna say simple. And
Yeah.
when I say simple, I don't mean cheap. I just mean simple. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. You barely know me. I barely know you.
Right.
So I mean, if we keeping it 100, if I barely know you and you barely know me, and I'm going off the top, and I'm speaking as a single man, I'm married. But if I was single in the mindset that
He's
you know,
trying to do it
most
again.
of-
He
yeah,
keep
'cause
doing
I
it.
mean,
He keeps
He's
doing
breaking
it.
it down,
You
man.
know,
He's making sure.
I'm making sure
You
that
better.
people take your words and they twist them and make something.
That's all right, dog. Let them come for it.
Yeah.
We got it
Right.
tonight.
It's straight
Come
back.
for it. Come on through.
If I'm taking you out and I don't even know you, aside from I might have been in your DMs or something, and I'm gonna take you out on a $400-500. I mean,
Say
I'm
what?
either lame or I'm looking for something.
Yeah, dog. 400-500
I mean,
the first one.
I mean, off the first one, I'm either lame or I'm looking for something.
I can't believe y'all are saying this.
Believe it.
I can't believe you guys are saying this.
Listen, right off the rip. Hold on. Let my man finish, and then I'm gonna come to Detrick. I'm gonna throw my little seasoning in this gumbo.
I mean, but I'm just gonna say it's got to be simple because the deal is I don't need you watching my pockets. I ain't trying to floss my pockets to you, and if we trying to get to know each other, then what you worried about a $400-500 meal anyway? Because chances are you probably can't even afford a $400-500
shots
meal.
fired. Shots fired. Oh
And,
dear.
Okay. And I know.
Hey,
And
man,
I make my
y'all
own
check them
money.
comments,
I
'cause I'm
make my
sure
own money,
I'm sure
and
they own us at this point.
And that's fine.
We want y'all to chime in on the comments.
Let you
'cause
go
we can
ahead.
See
Go
those in real
round
time.
this off. First date, simple or expensive?
Look, I'm gonna say it like this: simple. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
It tells you a lot about the person if you go on a simple date and don't spend a lot of money, because it'll tell you what they're really looking for. I have a story about going on a date. I went on a date. I took this was years ago, took this nice lady on a date, and she ordered her meal, ordered a meal for her for lunch, and then ordered a meal for her kid
I've
to
seen
take
that.
home,
I've seen that before.
and didn't even ask.
I've seen
Just
that
ordered it and brought it to the table and looked at me to pay. And I said, well, who's this food for? Oh, I have lunch tomorrow, and this was the first date now.
First date.
First of all, she showed up late.
And
She showed up late, 35 minutes late.
35 minutes.
35, I almost left, but I was watching
Oh, wow.
the game, so I was enjoying myself. Actually, I forgot I was waiting on someone.
Yeah, we got to talk about this
And,
afterwards.
and
dog.
then she had a bonnet on. Now at that point, it was my fault because why did you even choose this lady? Right?
Detrick, how did you go
That was
through
on
the
me.
first conversation?
And then
she
she had
showed
a-
up on the.
Listen,
And she brought a kid with her?
no, she didn't bring a
Oh,
kid with
okay.
her, but she
had the
but
bonnet on the head
She had
at
a
the
bonnet on the head on the date, and I didn't want to offend her. Like
Where were
I didn't
y'all?
want to
She
say.
offended you. Showed up with the bonnet.
Listen, I
Where did
should have
y'all
said.
go? What did
I
y'all-
should have
where
said,
y'all
"Oh, you
eating?
bald headed." We met at Hooters because I wanted some
Oh.
wings.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So-
that says a lot.
So, needless to say, she paid for her own meals. I never saw her again, thank God. But, after that, I told myself the first dates will be coffee at Starbucks
Yeah.
or somewhere inexpensive, Applebee's or Chili's, because I want to see the type of person that you are. Going back to the vetting,
Right.
can you have an intelligent conversation with me?
Yeah. Stuff like
And
that.
I don't want you to overshare, but just like in a job interview,
Right on.
tell me about
We
yourself.
filling each other out.
Yes.
Okay. So last question, guys. Last question. This dating
I knew
thing
y'all like that one.
It's gonna jump off the rails here in a minute. I can feel it. So I've heard conversations about this. When it comes to the bill, once the bill comes, are we splitting the bill or are we taking care of it? What's how does that go? I'm gonna start with you, Greg. You the guru with this, man.
Hey man, I'm never split the bill, dude. Like
Yeah.
again, like I said, I go back to I stand firm on what I say. It's simple, but if it becomes expensive, it's okay. But again, not going in thinking that I'm coming to hit your pockets. I don't agree with that.
Right.
However, but if we're being simple and we're having a good time, good conversation, if it continues and we keep bringing more stuff in, more food, more libations, drinks, or whatever we're having.
Libations.
Hey,
Like that.
like that. yeah,
Libations.
yeah. It's okay. It's
Right.
okay. It's
Right.
okay.
Okay. Raimi, I'm gonna let you tell us what you think. Splitting the bill, yes or no?
No. You go on a date, especially you initiate the date. You take.
Especially if
someone
you
on a-
initiate.
Yeah,
I get you.
I'll pay the bill. I think over time you continue dating, especially if it leads to marriage. There are times when the wife will say, or your girlfriend will say, "Let me take you out."
Right on.
Especially your birthday comes up, or
Right.
she might just Father's Day or something like that. So it becomes a reciprocation.
Okay.
Instead of a one-way kind of thing.
Right on. Okay. So what I've heard from all of you, mentality plays a major role, right?
Big time.
Because if she show up expecting, you taking me to Ruth Chris on Thursday, hold up, baby, wait,
Or with the
wait
bonnet.
no time, or with the bonnet. Yeah, we got to talk after.
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened, but anyway. But yeah, so guys, we're rounding this conversation off. First, we talked about dating, but we want to step into it because we did end off on the part talking about money, and I want to talk about materialism and money. We are living in a designer culture, and there's a lot of lifestyle pressure. You hear the young people talking like you got to have that bag, and what's your net worth? I've heard people ask that, which I think is
Wow.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
But let's just answer this question: are men judged by what they have more than who they are? Let me let you start this one off, Patrick.
Absolutely, yes. I believe that we are judged first by our financial position when we date. I think there's a few reasons for that, but I'll bring up the main one because we can get a little deep here. Women want security.
Naturally, I won't debate that. That's fair.
Correct.
That's fair.
And so, especially women our age and maybe a little younger, they don't want to deal with a guy that isn't financially stable. Because a lot of times, especially with women, my age, they have children already.
Yeah.
And, they're entrenched in their careers and they want to be aligned as well. And so right off the bat, they want to ensure that they don't have to take care of you.
True that. That's fair.
And that's important.
That's fair.
And another part to that is, we've talked about women and their mindset. Well, what about our mindset? It says a lot about a man that can commit to going to college or staying on a job or perfecting his craft.
Right.
Those things are important because it tells you the type of man that he is. Well, if you meet a man that's been, in his 30s and 40s, have been working dead-end jobs for the last 20, 25 years, hasn't established a career, doesn't even know what a 401k is, hasn't taken the time and made the sacrifice to educate himself or perfect his craft, then that's not really a man that you can follow from his leadership and take advice from and to lead a family. So I believe that's important to women as well. But, by and large, we have to understand that, financial pressures affects authenticity in relationships.
I believe that to be true too. I believe that's true. Swan, jump in, man. What do you think when it comes to men being judged by what they have more than who they are? What does that look like?
I believe it could go. I believe it's like a 50-50. We can be judged by what we have, and we can be judged by what we don't have. But I also believe on age. You know, like we're all in our 40s. So
Yeah.
at this point, you ought to be at least headed in the right direction.
Right.
It don't mean your money need to be my money or none of that, but at least we ought to be on an upward
On a trajectory.
trajectory.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I feel like, you know, the scriptures say a man who find a wife find a good thing, obtain favor from the Lord. So if the good thing comes from the Lord and the good thing is going to be your help, then your help is going to see the potential in you. And if you on an upward, trajectory, and she see what you can become, then, you know, of course, she can help bring that out of you. You know what I mean? Because I mean, when I met my wife, I had a decent job. I had an alright job. I wasn't doing nothing serious, but it wasn't about no money. Like, like we didn't start our relationship, counting change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if we gonna date, see how it go, and then the more serious it get, if you in it for me, I'm in it for you, and we're gonna go up together.
Okay.
Right.
So I feel like if a man's gonna be judged by his pockets, well, for one, if you like going back to what I originally said, if you in your 40s or 50s and you've been on this habitual habit of working these dead end jobs, well, yeah, I can see, but like, yeah, you need to get it together, brother.
Okay.
But if you a good brother and you just need a good woman to pull something out of you, I mean, shoot. I mean, I ain't trying to, look at Barack. He wouldn't be who he would be without Michelle. Look at Louis Farrakhan. He wouldn't be without, his wife. So I feel like every man, every successful man gonna have a solid wife, woman on his side.
Okay.
So if you've chosen a solid woman, then she's gonna help cultivate something in you. That way, y'all both get the increase.
Okay. Well, check this out. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Go ahead. Raimi, before we continue with this, let's hit some of these comments, man. 'Cause I know
Yeah,
that
I was
rocking
just
and
gonna
rolling.
I was just gonna ask
know they
if I
rocking
could,
and
Dr.
rolling.
Ramey, real quick. I was just going to see if I could
Because,
interject, just real short. I saw a comment that a lady put on there. She said, we don't mind paying. I went on a date with a woman years ago, and I went to pull out my card to pay, and she said, "No, I got it." And I said, "No, I'm not going to let you pay." But the fact that she took the initiative to do it and she wanted to do it,
Yeah, that means something.
Yeah.
it means a lot because it wanted me to get to know, I wanted to get to know her a little bit more. I'm sorry, Dr. Ramey, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Hit us with those comments, Raimi. Let's do it.
Letitia says, remember that old school song? Same thing. It took
To get your baby hooked.
do what you can do and be who you are all the time. Then Tidmore said, buy 2 for $20.
Hey, yeah, they got the good deal. 2 for $20. I'm liking that.
And of course, several comments says, no bonnets allowed. And that's women saying that.
Hey, man.
So
yeah,
you really
that-
need to talk to Dietrich after the
That was on me. My decision making was poor.
Yeah, we like I said, man, we gonna come back that.
James, your good friend Nicole King said, I agree. The bonnet is definitely a big no.
Yeah.
You should always care about how you represent yourself. That is a huge red flag if that is what you are presenting on the first
On
day.
the first day.
And
First date.
Atan just said, I'm going to always make sure I have funds. That's what you reference. However, it should be established before the date how the check will be handled.
I think that's smart. If there's any question. But I think going into it, especially if we initiate today, fellas, we pay the bill.
Yeah,
right?
whoever
And then,
initiates
yeah.
pays the bill.
We
yeah.
have Jorge said, I feel like committing suicide. I'm useless. Can I have someone to talk to before I take him off my life? So the person left a long number. So I could just say to Jorge, there are some helplines that I suggest you call if you're feeling like that at this time.
Yeah.
Kim Jackson, it's sad, but a man with a little money can pay his way into a relationship with women that he otherwise wouldn't even be able to have a conversation with. But those are usually the same men who lead with what they can do for a woman in order to attract a certain type of woman.
Yeah. That exists.
guilty of
That exists.
Take time to learn the entire package, and we have a
Okay.
That was a great comment. I've been guilty of that. You know, I led with my pocket, with my wallet, and it
Yeah.
cost me in the end.
Well, man, you know, I ain't never had the opportunity to leave my wallet.
Yeah.
I ain't never had enough to leave with it. I mean, but anyway, we'll talk. That's another story. So back on this subject, and I'm gonna throw it out there. Do you think that social media is contributing to this idea that men or is creating unrealistic relationship standards? Let's talk about it. Greer, what you think?
Man, it is. It definitely, most definitely is. Because what social media has done, it has painted this picture of this perfect person on the other side of the fence. And what the thing about it is that you never get to get on that side because you never really get to see it. And the crazy thing is I have daughters. And they are beautiful young ladies. They put on nice clothes, they put on makeup, but, and I hate to put them out there, but Doc, sometimes if I go in the youngest one, if I go in her room, oh man, Doc, bed ain't made.
Yeah, so we
makeup.
got bad habits.
So
You
I'm
got
like,
bad foundations.
now you did all of this. You got made up. You look good. You making your TikTok videos. You put on some nice shoes. You did everything right and appear to be, have it together. But behind closed doors, it's a different story. So going back to the designer culture and the lifestyle pressure, all of this stuff is put out there for those who cannot afford it, for them to try to afford it.
Right.
So therefore they can try to post and show other people,
That
hey,
part.
now I got
That
what
part.
they have, And the crazy thing about it is I watched Kanye West, man, do this like on so many different levels to the point to where, people were just paying buku's money. And I think he almost did it just, purposely. He even the clothes he began to wear, it was like it was some type of like slavery clothing or something, I think. And it was outrageously expensive. And people were breaking their necks trying to find a way to get that type of clothing. And then it was just all because of who was putting the clothing line out there. And this is like the same thing. It's like, it's the sense of, this is the trend. Everybody wants it. I want a piece of it as well. And so unless I get to what everybody else is getting to, then I'm not going to be, a part of the in crowd, if you want to call it that. I'm not going to get to be a part of the trend. But I think the greatest thing is knowing how to be a standalone. Like that's the greatest gift that God has given many of us. God has given each and every last one of us a special talent that we should just find out what it is, walk in our own purpose, and then just walk in it.
And then guess what? Somebody's going to appreciate it.
That's it.
You don't
That's
have
all
to
it
force
is.
it.
There you go.
attract it.
There we go.
And
It
you
becomes
don't have to
attractive.
prove it.
There you go.
You feel me?
There you go.
So guys, we want to pivot. We've been talking about the single side of things, but let's get into this thing called marriage as well as divorce, because the truth is there's a high percentage of divorce that lives in these United States of America. But let's just specifically narrow it down to the African American community. Here I can state myself. I never gave my status. I myself am divorced, and so when I want to talk about commitment, fear, and lessons when it comes to marriage, and I want to ask this question. Excuse me. Why are so many young men hesitant about marriage in the first place? What gives us the cold feet? Let's talk, Dexter. You start it off, and then after you, I want to hit you, Ramey, right after him. Okay.
Right. So, being on the other side of divorce, I didn't understand it then, but I understand now what men really fear, and it's the long-term consequences, not commitment, that we fear. I lost my shirt in my divorce. I'm talking about I had to completely start over from a life that I had started building at 19. And it took me over a decade to recover just to get back to zero. It took me over a decade.
I get that.
And that's what we fear the most. And it's at a point now to where I don't know if I'll ever get married again.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
and I have a lot to offer a young lady, but I am terrified of what it's going to cost me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I think a lot of men now, I think that we are knowledgeable of that. If we go into the divorce rates, especially in our demographic, you know, our women are filing for divorce at a clip of over 80%. That's terrifying. Because what are you really looking for? Is it the bag? You know, especially if children are involved. So I won't get too deep into that because I'm still jaded, I'll be honest.
That's all good.
You
That's
know?
all good. Ramey, talk to us.
Yeah, I could see why we are seeing so many divorces. I too am divorced. You got to have a good support circle. You got to have the brotherhood. And I
Yes.
think that if you don't have that good support circle and someone that you can talk to, it takes a very serious psychological and emotional toll on you. But one of the things that I think for us men that we ought to be careful of is not taking advice when we see the red flags. And I could talk for me. Even I mean, James and I we tight, and he told me some things, and I should have listened to him. You know, he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one that talked to me. And sometimes you see it, and you still say, you know what, we'll figure it out. And then when you get in, you realize, for your own safety's sake, you don't want to keep driving around the block.
Right.
You gotta get out.
Right.
And sometimes I want to say to people, divorce really sometimes is the only alternative for your sanity's sake and even for your personal physical well-being, because sometimes we put abuse on men, but sometimes these women are very abusive, emotionally, physically, and otherwise. And so I think on the other end, on the other side, counseling is important.
Absolutely. I was gonna say
Having
that.
that accountability group and doing things radically different as you move forward. So then you would make a more informed decision,
Yeah.
and you will be a bit more cautious, and you will know what you're looking for, especially from the perspective of knowing what you're not looking for. You know.
Yeah, and so with that being said, and I want to get to my married brothers because I still think this is applicable, even though you are still married. As a married person, what did you learn from relationships prior that you were able to utilize as a stepping stone of wisdom into into your current relationship, and what keeps you married? Go ahead, Swan, jump in there. He made eye contact with me. I know hey, he looked over here and looked
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Since I looked at you, come on with it.
I mean, to be honest with you, before, pretty much mine was kind of like it was a pendulum from one extreme to the next. I wasn't dating to be serious. I was dating for that intimacy right here. Like Ms. Margaret put. I mean, that's what it was. However long it lasted. You know, it was what it was. You know, but then, you know, when that play out and you do decide, I did decide, let me quit fooling around.
Right.
Let me just, see,
Right.
If I can be serious or whatever. For me, what was the question?
What did you?
That's
You
so
jumped
good.
out there and didn't
That's
even
so
know what you
good.
was answering, man.
That's so
No,
good.
it was like, what did we learn from
Yeah.
relationships?
That's so good.
So I guess what I learned from that is knowing what I didn't want. Because, I mean, you can get all the sex you want. And, I mean, at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, it all ends with the same. It all ends the same, right? And so if you know that, then obviously if you're trying to commit to somebody, it's got to be something different about this person that you're willing to, spend time with, share life with, and build life with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess to answer the question, I learned what I didn't want.
Okay.
And like I say,
That's good.
most of them, they were just, had a little job, not going anywhere. Okay with living life status quo.
Yeah.
Just really just living in life but not living life.
I got you.
You know
I
what
got
I mean?
you. You hit that, man. What you got?
Man, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I'm always there with it. I keep the crap going. So I'll say this, man. I've been married for 25 years, going on 26, man, and it's been a wonderful thing. There's been some ups, there's been some downs. However, I'm gonna keep it straight 100 with you.
Yeah.
Although I have been in a marriage as long as I have, I would not marry again.
Right.
Talk about it.
I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Talk about it.
I would not marry again. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because one thing is that it takes a lot out of you. It takes a whole lot out of you, as a person. And the type of person that I am, I'm pretty hands-on with a lot of things. Like, I mean, I was there taking kids to school. I was there when, Now, if we had been in different places, or she was over here, I was over here, or if I was in a different relationship, maybe things would have been a little bit different for me, maybe. However, I know the pressure. I know the work that it takes. I know everything that's involved in it. I know on the weekends, it's going to be activities going on all weekend. It's going to be, time differences. And that's a lot of work.
It is.
So the fact that I know that, and the fact that I've been in it for this long, if this ever comes to an end, which I'm not, it's not on
the table.
Yeah, it's
We
not
know
there
that.
on
We
the
know.
table.
We just speak.
If it gets to that place where it happens, I'm the person who's like, let's just do it right. Let's just bow down. Let's not go against the grain. I don't want anybody else. I'm not looking for anybody else. I don't want to date anybody.
Right.
Like, so as a married man, I would say, because the work that has been put into it, like I said, it's a great thing, wonderful thing, doing well, great business, everything works, working together, bouncing ideas, it works well. However, it is a lot. And I think as men get older, you just want peace. You want peace. You just want peace. So.
And I'll chime in personally. I can be very candid. I am divorced in 2019, and I can definitely say I learned a lot from my marriage, even being accountable for my own shortcomings. One thing that I have aged and become wise in is not looking for pointing the finger.
Yes.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something. The pandemic allowed me to sit still and really reevaluate
Yes.
me
Yeah.
Yes.
from a whole lot of different angles. Since we're specifically saying, what did you learn from the divorce? I learned a lot about myself, and I was honest with myself and the shortcomings that I have or had, and I also learned to. It's not good to not address problems and think they're gonna go away.
That's good. That's good.
Right?
Man. That's
right.
good.
The more you brush it up under the rug, it just make a bigger problem. Go ahead and address it, and then find
That's
a
it.
resolution.
That's it.
And what I had also learned, it takes two people at the same time wanting to stay married. One of the questions is asked: is love enough to sustain a marriage? I'm going to say with a resounding no.
Takes more than that.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It takes more than somebody. It might blow some of y'all socks off out there. Look, oh, love is all we need. No, baby. Let me bless you, as Pastor Elf would say. The love that we have changes. God has unconditional love, that agape love. Our love is conditional. It is sometimes transactional. You've heard the song, if you ain't loving me right, I ain't loving you back right. What does it take for a marriage to sustain? I say this as an answer.
Grace.
Choosing to be married every day.
That's it.
Choosing to.
That's it.
Come on.
Pastor Alexander, you say that because what I share with people, that me and my wife been married 15 years next month.
Okay.
Been together
Congratulations.
going
That's awesome,
on like
man.
17 and a half or something like that.
Uh-huh.
My wife 15 years later ain't the same wife
No!
15
You're right.
years ago.
You sure?
True.
And
And
so
we aren't either.
a lot of, and
We're
that
not the
you're
same.
right.
We're
We're
not the same
And so a lot of what happens, what I feel, what I see is that, we get married at a certain date, then 10 years down the road, or whatever, how much ever time down the road, you end up busting up because you still have this expectation of them being how they were when you married them, doing
And that's
what
not
they
realistic,
did.
man.
You got
It's not
serious
at all.
conditions,
At all.
stress,
All of
like-
that, health,
and
yeah.
So it's like when you don't take the time to date throughout the marriage,
Yeah.
don't take the time to grow throughout the marriage. Then yeah, love ain't. I mean, because it's gonna fizzle.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I want to chime in
Go
on
ahead,
that,
go ahead.
definitely. So I think I struggled with the same thing that you did, but mine was a little bit different. You know, I didn't provide my ex-wife enough grace. And just like you said, you're not going to be married to the same person that years down the road that you married in the beginning. And so when she started to change the person that she was, I became upset. You know, I didn't give her any grace. You know, I think that I know that it's important. You know, they say that women marry a man hoping to change them. Well, men marry a woman hoping they never change. You know, that's why we choose you in the first place. But change is inevitable.
Right.
You know, if you don't believe that, read the book Who Moved My Cheese. Nobody likes their cheese moved. No one. Definitely go and read it. It will change your thought process in the way that people go about their lives. But change is inevitable. And just like Pastor preached on the Sunday before last, on Easter Sunday, you know, you can't have grace without mercy. Both of them go together.
Right.
And so.
Right. And guys, we're going to take a couple of more comments. We're already rounded third. It's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun, fellas. There has to be a part 2 to this because there's a whole lot more meat on this bone. But let's take a couple of more comments, and then I want to do this fire round before we get out of here.
So Atan just said one of the greatest lines in the song said, "The words love and like both have 4 letters,
But there's
but
2.
they are 2 different
Come
things
on.
altogether."
Like me,
And,
ladies.
Nicole said,
probably the
it
best
definitely takes more than love.
Yeah,
You
that was
must also have
Houdini. I know what that
commitment,
is.
dedication, etc., and be willing to continue to put in the work to keep the relationship healthy and growing.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, they hit us.
You're a fool if you think you think a woman not going to change. That was from Cassandra.
Yeah, listen, I mean, and before we go into this fire, I just think, unfortunately, we are painted a false picture when it comes to dating,
Yeah.
when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, and I think social media has played a major part in it.
Big
Yeah.
time.
You know, I'm not anti-social media. I'm entertained by social media every day. But I do believe there is some crazy stuff being out there that a lot of people are buying that's not based on reality, right? So, guys, as we close out, I'm going to do some fast round. I'm going to hit you with a question, blank or blank, and you hit me with it.
You got 10 minutes.
I got 10 minutes? Okay, well, I'm going to take my time and hit you with it. Yeah. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Well, first, I want to ask this question. Men, do you want... Hold on. I can't find the question. Well, listen, it's right here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here
Let me
we
get
go.
this one.
Man, you don't get to pick the question. I don't want to pick the question. All right. I'm just messing with you, man. That's how I get down. All right. So let's go. Swan, love or respect?
Respect.
Ramey, same question.
Respect.
Respect all day.
I'm going with respect.
So all y'all don't need love, but you need that respect.
I have some respect.
You know what?
dog.
I'm with you on that.
Because if
you have respect, love
show
don't.
it.
Comes with
There it is. I like that. Oh my gosh, I know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Peace or passion, Greer?
Peace. It's definitely in the
Peace.
building.
Swan.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with that passion.
Okay.
But it depends on what experience.
Man, you gotta pick one or the other. It's peace.
He must have
Or
an abundance
passion.
of peace in his home.
Yeah, man, passion.
Okay,
Yeah.
well we'll talk
Yeah,
after. I
yeah.
need
Yeah,
some
yeah,
notes
yeah,
from
yeah.
you. Talk to me. You going for the peace. All right, so the majority, I agree. I'll go with the peace. All right, listen. This is a good one. Submission or partnership?
I'm
let y'all
going with
think about
submission,
that.
Doc.
I'm going to go with submission.
Wait a minute. I think it's the different. Hold on.
I'm going with submission, Doc.
There's a different. There's a different submission that we talking about. Greer, I don't.
There's a line
Anyway.
in the sand.
He said,
There's a
sign me
line
up
in
for
the sand.
sign me up for 2 twice on Sunday. Okay. Submission or partnership, Swan.
I'm going to go with submission.
Okay.
And that's my submission to God,
Uh-huh.
and my wife's submission to me.
I like that. We're not gonna let
I'm out
Grinder
of
explain his. We're just gonna leave
All right.
leave his in the wind. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's the
Nah, it's all
ADHD. I'm
good.
sorry.
No, I mean,
I like that.
if
man.
I'm
That's
not
good.
submitting to God, I can't
Expect
rightly
her- yeah,
expect her to submit to me.
That's good.
Okay.
So
part
as
of it.
long as I'm in alignment, she should be in alignment because it is a partnership,
Yeah, yeah.
but somebody got to submit.
Okay.
I can't be doing my own thing against
Yeah,
him.
there
She
you
can't
go.
be doing her own thing against
That's
me.
good.
We can't be doing
That's
our own
good.
thing against each other.
Fair enough.
That's a good
Well said.
Yeah.
Dedrick, I know you itching. Go ahead.
Listen to me because he
Submission of
took the
partnership.
Bible route. Good
Okay.
job, brothers, but I'm not. Submission.
Okay.
And ladies, let me tell you this, ladies. A submissive woman controls a man unknowingly. Remember that.
No, that not a no. They know.
That.
They know.
I like that.
Oftentimes we don't though.
Yeah, we don't, but they know.
We don't. But I'm telling you, and listen to me. The more you submit, the more things are going to go your way anyway. Remember
Okay, I
that,
can
ladies?
see, man, them comments about to blow.
Oh,
Your
I
phone
hope they
gonna
blow up. Please.
Your phone gonna blow
Look,
up.
I'm here for the smoke today.
Raimi,
Please.
submission of partnership.
I say submission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to have that within the context of the relationship. And I agree with Dietrich. If a woman is submissive, a man responds in a way that is very, very healthy.
Yes.
Because
Right.
submission ties into respect.
Right, it does. And so this is a power question. I know we asked this question. We just talked about submission, but can you truly lead a woman if you don't follow God?
You cannot.
You cannot.
Well, you can lead her.
You gonna
but
lead her
not in
down the
right
wrong path.
direction.
Yeah, you lead her down the wrong path.
You're going to lead her somewhere.
Yeah, talk about it, man.
I mean, it's, Lord have mercy. We ain't got enough time.
Sure.
But I was going to say this. How you do anything is how you do everything.
That's good,
Uh-huh.
man.
And so, as a man, I ain't trying to be toxic masculinity and all this type
Yeah,
of stuff. But at
yeah.
the end of the day, God created man to lead for a headship, to pull his family in a godly direction as God leads him.
Yeah.
And so, if you ain't submitting and you out of order, I mean, at the end of the day, your house gonna be out of order. She
Right.
gonna be out of
Yeah,
order.
and could I just add something? to
Please.
that? I think a woman, a real woman,
Uh-huh.
loves a man that she can submit to.
You're right.
They want it.
We don't have enough, and see that's the thing
want
because
it.
there's not enough available. Or there's not an image of enough men who are committed and submitted. It's just like I ain't found
You know, I think there's enough imagery. We're just looking at the wrong place.
Yep.
Okay.
It's some good men out here that's on display, but you ain't looking at them because you're looking at other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, you feel me? You're looking at the foolishness.
Exactly.
But I mean, hey, that's the nature of the beast. Guys, we have run short on time. But before we get out of here, I want to hear from, if you could just give me 10 seconds of what you've taken from this. And remember, we're going to come back, guys, because there was a whole lot that we didn't get to talk about fatherhood, about family, masculinity. Y'all, we got to come back and do another part of this. Again, we are here with community, and we are focusing on brotherhood and responsibility and expectations, and we're wrapping this thing up. So I'm going to start on the far end. Raimi, give your final thought for tonight.
If I were to speak to my younger self, I would say take advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Take
good.
advice.
That's good. Swan, talk to us.
Takeaways from tonight would just be black men, don't be afraid to reach out for help and pick somebody. You ain't got to talk to them, but if it's someone that you can see some good in, pick them, watch them, observe them, eat the fish, spit the bones out.
There you
That's
go.
good.
There you go. Go ahead, Greg.
Man, I would say to my younger self, man, just remember that everything is not built on perfection. We're all
That
going to
part,
make some
yeah.
mistakes.
Flawed, man.
And the same grace that we want to be given to us, we
That's
need
it.
to be able to give the grace back to those that have made mistakes and right before our eyes.
I like that. Dedrick, hit it with the last one, bro.
Yeah, so my final thought would be to the men: who you become determines who you attract.
That's deep.
I'll leave it at that.
You have no choice because you nailed it. And guys, I want to leave us with this. Wherever you are, I'm going to go a little biblical. Every morning, the Bible tells us that God's grace is new. Every day that you're here, that's an opportunity to be something opposite than what you were yesterday. I would advise us and encourage us to extend grace so that we can receive grace, whether it be our black women as well as our black men. But I don't think we're in a place where we can be at odds. It's time for us to start finding a way to bring this thing back together. And I think conversations like this are good stomping grounds for that to occur. But guys, we've wrapped it up for tonight. Again, I'm James Alexander Jr., pastor of the Greater Ideal Missionary Baptist Church in Oak Cliff, Texas. Waco, Texas, where I'm from, 254. I've enjoyed myself on tonight. Please like and share. Let's talk about this thing and press Dr. Ramey for us to have part 2 of
Gotta
this
have
so
a
we
part
can
2.
come back and finish this. But listen, you be blessed. God be with you until we meet again. Have a good one.
Put it back on us, Doc.